It would be good for our experience.
제가 디나시 네 대제 오멘 만드라고 제제 데스 따제 제너와 이지와 도와다 지 팅두 모던 게 로브존나라 카르카르도 아니 다 단다 이슈 가지 힌두 낭바 저기 나라 아니 로브존 카르카르도 사장 차장 장tum나다 야고여와 차장 장tum나 야고여와 이나 인디나네다 칼라로데 수수수수수라 심바라오데 카레도로 식심마 심사데 수수 되바 유메지레도 미시지기 말라 심보여나 미신달라 심보여베 켜와요 말와 제가 출룩세야데 직부직냐라고 칼라 단 직부직냐래 미카셰 카차월까 그래 카셰 카차오면 좋을까 그래 로 거디
Yeah.
제가 디 겨케요 말에 출룩하리네 아니 수수 냠내 야고 치토비나 되게 어려요. 냠내 냠내 야고 진이지나 낭바 야고 진이지나니 힌두 야고 치도 그래 크신 야고 치도 그래 무슬림 야고 치도 그래 다저 절로 신고 제제 안저디 야고래 미신다 두자를 라잖아 되는 사자 다요 말이야 난 요라고 주사야
So then there should be this experience one gets in the mind, this kind of exercise like that with experiencing the food, the different types of foods in the restaurants. So what do all the modern religious beliefs say? We could study them all so that we could get the various tastes and see which one is delicious for us according to our needs and desires. So what might be delicious for me might not necessarily be delicious for you. We have different beliefs. So some people like hot food with chili, some, some do not. But this is not necessarily a contradiction. If upon your examination you can find a particular thing that suits you and practice it, well and good enough. Well and good enough. If that means you're practicing the belief of Hindu, fine. Buddhist, fine. Christian, fine. Islam, fine. But we have to kind of decide. The danger comes when we start thinking that we have found the best and fixed on that view, that my view is the best.
좀 된데 전주 선배 람도 졸이나 내 람디 약슈리스 람라야 셴바 차신식이요 말했어 전주 선배 람다니 싱단도 아니데 방스데 베나가서 자저 람세야디 내가서 베나 투징 들어와 투징 열어
Yep.
투징디 베나가서 픽테네 월링턴 도고요나 먼저 투징디 추가는 도고와
Yep.
다 팔레사서는 투징 샤제 던제 도고라면서 투징디 야고 인스테데나 저런 자전을 코데 그래서 제가 산제에 수수 남래양 샥신치요 말해서 라고요. 제가 먼저 출래 착신치예요 말해서 야 출디 야고레스 라사나 착신치를 짐버레서 디나네 tönt고 말해서 바로 제가 디졸랍자 도동안도다 계신부 자기 열에서
Within the Buddhist view of the Bodhisattva path, one of the commitments of the Bodhisattva would be to respect and not look down on other religions. Similar, this is what Buddha said, similar to when you take a boat to cross the ocean. For example, let's say the boat is very similar to the path you have chosen. Let's say you're going from Picton to Wellington. Once you reach your destination, Wellington, you leave the boat there. If you do not leave the boat there, you just go round and round in the ocean. It would be similar like that.
That's chul faja susu lamdi na nge lamdi yago yin se zinde yo mares chakin chi yo.
So leave alone religion, even your own particular viewpoint, your own particular path, you cannot be attached to that. You cannot cling to that. No.
디 제가 주저다 먼저 디 랍자디 갈린 거라서나 아니 먼저 디스텐션 세우라 야와치야시도와
Yes.
다 디기 랍자디 단단 간저 처음으로 출연배이나 당저 단단 람요 말아 람요 말아 그래서 길라
Yeah.
당저 당저 디 랍자디 calling 거스나 먼저 백신지 아니 야고래 먼저 백신지 아니 도자래 대 삼로데 도죠 말다 로 수수 가르쳐마지 수수라 말해 디 야고래다 도자리 디간라 진스나나 다 녀로 서자르다 로
Right. So in that sense, why is this advice given? The point is not to have this very strong discriminatory attitude that would be counterproductive. For example, this attitude, oh, the vaccine's good, the vaccine's bad. That is a personal thing. If you cling to that view, that's too late.
아니 먼저 샤마스니 비건 쉐버지레 샤사니 두자레스로 당먼저 포모레 먼저 프레스 야와지네 야와징기도 아니 먼저 샤죠버레 누죠버레 아니 먼저 미나고레 까버레 다디 야와치지 짐바이나 다 녀그로 야마메시 아니 먼저 최친이레 최마진이레 먼저 낭버레 낭버마인버레 야와디 체스나나 수수심라 산잠 수제 보다로 수제와 디스드 다 강해 용거였다 먼저 되고야요 말다 세상 sem제 먼저 창물로 대화되어 동해면 되어 지고래 닝지스인데 창물이야 니 캬베 닝지스 도토베이나 예와데 요 말다 예와데 고야요 말로
And then clinging to the notion of, oh, I'm vegan, meat eaters are bad, or some people even clinging female, male, east, west, black, white. All of these distinctions the mind is making. The trouble comes if you cling to those particular views. Also, so-and-so is a spiritual practitioner or not. Are they Buddhist or not? Here, the mind is making these distinctions. And from this trouble comes, this is what we don't need. We should have like a broader view. The compassionate view is that all beings from the outset, they want to be happy, they do not want to suffer.
저런저다 오pen mind이라고 그러지. 델레라. 오pen mind면은 저런저 델링 말해.
But you have assembled here with kind of an open-minded attitude. Except for that, you wouldn't have come, no?
미카시 this level do 여러 미카시 나도디 저런 낭바이베 저런 religion 나 religion 말해서 건서 신나시거든 얘라 저런 religion 차고 되나 차 두고 말해서 저런 그러 저런 자녀 되나 차 두고 말해서네 그래서나 경아지 이제 거래 레준데 이제 거래 도서 렐로면 더러 신나 제고 말해. 내가 신나 제고 말해. 신나 제고 말해. 저런 렐로디 차 렐로요. 낭보 차 렐로요 말해. 신나 제고 말해. 미카시 투송 알아. 신나 제고도. 카시 배 가오지거든. 미카시 배 가오지거든. 카시 나 릴리지 말해서 셰루도 닝자데. 가르지나 내가 셰우 말해. 나 미래 미직 말해.
And then when I meet some people, I know open-minded attitude is good, but they meet me and they go, oh, are you Buddhist? And I go, yeah, that's it. And I go, I have no religion, to which I reply, don't worry, there's nothing to fear around that. Being a Buddhist is not particularly easy. One has to get conviction in things like the behavioral law of cause and effect, karma, past lives, and all those things around that. And if you're not sure about that, that's your choice. But, you don't need to be fearful around this because of having no religion or not, because I'm a person just like you.
Yeah. Wrong answer. 그런저다. 스타트에 경험하면 레레 저요랭은 낭바슈네 셴으로 그런저 네 용제 즉 도나로체 얘기절셔야 미카시 알아서 저런저 하고 그래 저런저 파마 촉보 초모도 저 가시 동해 열다 상물로 동해 열 동해 지중마다 가지 와 가시다 동해 쉬울도 하다 생각 남도 오다 말 서제로 동해 가는 수수 동해 가는 동해 서제 되기도 동해디 되고요 말다 동해 되고요 말 수이나 이나야 다 루기 동에 세야다 안zo 맹간라 또 멤버 직라 민주 체네 릭직 세도 거들래 찾아 세도 말이라 세도
Yeah.
문다 나자 베나 캔세 찾아서나 멤베 펜토문다로 다 되네 셈기 동에디 다 쉬우지요래 되서 미는 거 뭐지 안 베나 단다 저랑서디 낭베게 베나 나이사 나 얘기저로 되 냠베이나 셈기 동에 세다게 랍자 망고요다 그러 베나 셈기 동에 세다 랍자 할레베 망고요라 아니 다 딜레 니니 마테로 디 교다니 마테 딜라 오벤 만데 치니 마테 오벤 만데 데 치니 마테 수수디 카렉터디 저워자니 마테 야 동에데 마테 다 데바로라 가데데 스탁제데다 미망부 쉬지 미망부 쉬지 데다 하데다 로 미망부 쉬지 교다한데 마테 교다나 시 오벤 만데 치니 마테
Vale.
동에데 마테 안 디멘도 동에 마데 나나 또 동에서 그 탈란데 매비체 또 도스 하데다 도스 한조 망고 쉬지도 미망고
Yeah.
저런저 통그레데 저런저 낭미다 빈자다 초고 요르다 다ran 요르다 게 망고 토스데로
So in that context, then, in terms of past lives and karma, we Buddhists have an interest in it. There is that persuasion around those things. However, if we look at the situation of our parents, families, and friends, all of us have difficulties, problems, and sufferings. Some have it a lot. Some people in their mind have so many mental disturbing thoughts. Right, so then they don't want it, but somehow it is there. And then there are cases where we get physically sick, so much so that to some limit we might be able to stop physical sickness. But on other levels, let's say if a cancer gets too advanced, what can the doctors do if it's too late? But coming back to these mental levels of discomfort, the mind gets perturbed a lot. And within that context, the advice coming from Buddha Dharma is vast about how to remove the mental suffering. So, but somehow even people have a fear around that. They get stuck. Should I believe in karma? Should I be open-minded? Or even being able to recognize they're in problems and fearing change. Well, if that's the case, if you don't want to go into problems and their sources, it's almost like you've removed your own path. You're stuck. You've blocked your own path to remove the source of the suffering. So we're kind of left over. We're hanging there.
제가 당한서 난저 낭배게 인지미지 낭바 채워 말이죠. 낭바 채워 말이. 낭배 중에 아니 셈게 만 트레이닝 소라.
Yeah.
다 공부 돈에 아니 셈 대한데 줌젠단 데베고네. 아니 디네 동에 디네야 최단계 탑람 쉬브지요래서와. 다딜 롭존 제비이나 다 오늘 organic food 싱기 컬러랑 레스타 나는 컬러 비다레스
Best food. So here, definitely it is not being said that one needs to become Buddhist, however, but within that system there are mind training methods, the reasons we need to meditate, the reasons we need to separate from suffering. In that context, the path is vast. And if you study that, this is the best organic food for the mind, best quality.
제가 다 대나네 다 약셔의 닝지고 메들어 닝제데레 기승고마 셰브나 시레 동에 trendo기 닝지다 좀도기 닝지세야지 이용고요래 오늘 예 tren도 닝지디 가서 참말라 용고요래 창말라 용고요래 진짜 파셔네 그래서 기던 둔로들래 tren도기 닝지요래로 창말 안주게 용고요래 제베세야디 용고요래로
And about those paths for mind, great compassion would be the best, supreme amongst which there are two levels of compassion, are that thinking may all beings be free from suffering, and the second level, I myself will be responsible in bringing this about. Now that first level, even animals and dogs recognize the innate wish to not suffer for self and other.
다 니바데 동해를 좀 되게 있는지 동해 통연도 동해단 태와디 게 지긴 있어야 돼. 다디 딜라 좀젠 삼노다 딜라 셰럽지 토메비나 직직다 내절 때때 연구여 가서나 배나 아마 릭 망보지라와 아마 찾아마르다라 다인데 ngangma ngaranga amadida 베디 수술라 자와 게 단달라 베제 솔르 당면나 당그리 삼상급 된데게 자와직 되니지 요등에 아마 참마 된데레 튕겨라 대출리도야 미망고지게 아마 참마 된데 말에 nga 아마 베두자 여시는데 통성아 제가 아마 참마 말에 들어 아마 카시에 아마 망아디네 심진 수수 부구게 체데 네 동의를 줘야 돼 지긴 있어야 될 라와메베 토네 자와 주민기 자와 디 부구게 수 너바제 슈 독자 당 콘도 카레람바 이네 부구들라 동의대 텐데 그 동의대 태와디 지긴 대와도 뭐 지긴 있어야 돼 라슈그 리기요 어디 고요다 어디를 다 닝징원에 데고요 당한줄 데고요 데 점블링을 데요 말다 점블링 미망버질 데요 말다 데면은 아주 점블링 단다 강에 중었다 미스웨 강에 창마 닝지 신다디 요르 단다 미 뇨도 소녀도 줄 닝지 요르 이내 컨서 동에다 태왕에 지긴사 닝지 니와데 요 말다 당보데 요르 컨서 데 점블링 데워 메가든데도 폴리틱 컨솔 닝지 요르 그저 닝지데 동의대 테나 삼삼 동의 더 지긴 있어야 돼 요말다. 디기 뇨도 속어요. 당한절 뇨도 손이 상마 디스. 디메베 온기다 총을 해서.
So that second level of compassion then goes deeper. It is a thought that not only sees sentient beings as suffering, but the will, the responsibility to separate beings from it. The responsibility to take that on personally. Without wisdom as its support, this would prove difficult. Having said that, mothers have it to some degree, this kind of innate concern for their children, and that they might give up their lives or the bodies at the behest of the child to prevent it from suffering. I saw this very much with my own mother when I was young. And I concluded, all mothers must have that for their children. But upon coming here, I met some people and I thought, well, maybe not all mothers have it. Maybe not all mothers have it, but most do. Most mothers have this kind of uncontrived thought that if the child is going through sickness, sufferings, or problems, whatever comes up, they would rather be sick than their child. So, yeah, that comes up. Now, in the context of the world, then, what we're lacking is the second level of compassion, the universal altruism that takes responsibility to stop the suffering. Okay, so politicians, troublemakers, they have that first level of compassion. They know everyone wants to be happy. What is missing is the second level.
다디 게야라 지장하란저 딘데 냠뇨요랑 상말로 먼저 야 수술을 부메비네 냠뇨요를 배나 나다위나 게 아말라 파 동에로 요 고용디 아직다 동에데 태왕에 가르치고 그래와 미지기 전한데 아메 돈다지 제거를 나그면도 안 가는 게 당에 가르치고 그래 네 면람질리면 전 자야로 지 그배 후다바다지 샘띵네 지 내용도 그러와 어디 나도 상말로 냠뇽디 요레스 익스페리언스 요레스 딱 한다.
Well, in terms of the production of such a compassionate thought, responsible one, we all have experience in it. We don't have to have children to experience that. In my case, when my mum was suffering, no one had to tell me that I should have the concern to separate my mum from her suffering, and I prayed for her deep in my heart. So we all have that. Yep.
제가 디 냠뇽디 간의 중도 생각서 따고래로 봐. 디 간의 중도. 그 랑신 컨디션도 유디 간의 중도. 데 따고래. 그래서 따제 수수 냠뇽디야 꼼 잡시로.
Here, it is up to oneself, in terms of one's own experience, to examine with meditation what is the nature of such a compassionate thought? What is its cause?
제가 이따 준제 망보여는 게 규진이 세부셔지 하고도 서로.
So amongst the many causes, I have come to see two clear ones, two clear causes.
규진 찍대 아니 규진 찍대 되는 거다. The question extra. 규진 찍대 답베데 파메게 아니 저와 펜도 채워지 수술래 펜 수술 메데나라 아니 파메게 펜 토바지 라세고 싶지 트용 것도 알아.
Firstly, the cause and condition is that recognizing how the parents have benefited oneself in this life and introducing that thought.
다 니버디 믹세지도로 앞에 먼저 단달라 파메 수수배 르다운하시기 믹세게 지 먼저게 디도고 단달라 파마고 코란 제원하시베 코란 전부 제니베 먼저 단달 짠짠치기 위해서 그러지 먼저 단달베 개인 차상 키기요로 그러지 개인도 없지 가서 그러지 다디 셰미신 바지도 와 디 믹세지 디 지당 통구도 와데 디 레스템나라 믹세게 처와지 되기도 파메게 먼저 단달베 가리이네 코란베 전부 제어라시 코란 전부 제제 먼저 단달 짠짠 치기 위해서
Ale.
직 통해도 와지 디 제와디 제월 해메 디 제외게 누가 있어요 근데 직 통해도 와디 통할 때는 먼저 배 파마들라 쇼지 가기도 와 쇼지 이질레기도 와 이질레 나라이나 나라 파마라 이제 쉬울래 아니 가고 쉬우지 셈띵네 셈다니오 쉬우지 레기도 와 어디래다 네 니니 다 단도 준진신다 망고여데 니니디 세부 쉬우지 도스와 준진이디 세부 쉬우지 도스다 한다.
The second type of cause behind this compassionate thought is, from the parent's point of view, introducing the fact that oftentimes the concern coming from them to us would be so strong, they would almost not have concern for themselves, in the sense that this compassionate resolve is so special, they forget themselves in the concern for us. So that could be a root here, or a cause here, of that altruistic resolve, great compassion. And when I started to see that, I got some kind of tremendous faith and conviction how close we can feel to others out of that selfless concern.
디 단당 알아서 디주 용달라 딩에게 가오레 딩아 마가오레 딩아 스트레인저 이다 지 팔메 미레시 알아서 상모 만잘라 여와디 여러
Yeah.
상모 만잘라 여러다
Yeah.
가시에다 뱀미시게다 당기셰브나시레 딩안저레 상안저 최친이레 딩안저 비겐레 딩안저 보모레 딩안저 푸레스 안딩안저 눕죠 낙보레 까보레스 이와 지시우지 진예지도 와 셈나라 탁보 쉬우지 손예지도 와
Yeah.
다 강에 쉬우지다 데데라 강에 쉬우지다.
So although on a common level, we're bound to have those that we like and those that we dislike, and then those who are strangers to us. You know, this is ours, this is theirs, this is vegan, this is not, this is spiritual, this is not, this is black, this is white, this is east, this is west. There's a danger there that if the demarcations are too fixed, problems come. These are troublemakers. Really, the mind doesn't need to demarcate strongly. You don't need to make such strong discriminate.
다 이네 알아서 미지 7 billion people the manchang the stranger
But most of the 7 billion people to us are strangers for us. Like we don't know them.
저물린드나 저랑 응원에 가세 미 가세요. 미치 니숨 가세요. 아니 마가사 미 가세요. 대파 여와제다. 아니 정말 발맞아자로.
How many people are you really close to? How many people do you feel averse to? The rest? Strangers. A lot.
다이나 먼저 디 내단디 먼저 냠내리 케어요. 디 내단디 먼저 ngoyne지 미상와 삼단다 여러와. 디추 냠내리 수케어요. 디 심난 수케어요.
But that reality, that situation through your experience, you can carry it. You can observe it.
당봉안서 땅용고고 여러와. 먼저 차단매베. 차단이 여와 마지오고나 땅용고고요. 땅용.
And in that sense, what we need initially is a mind of equanimity, not feeling too close or too averse to others, having a mind of neutrality.
세상 땅안서 땅용기 심디 쉽지요. 7 billion people 만창안서 발매심지 선상 초단용으로와 또 땅용으로와 세상안서 디제상으로 땅용기 심지도와 심 쉬위 파자는
So
무엇인고리야.
Yeah, what we have to recognize then is that, 7 billion people, if one can have an equal attitude to all of them, then the mind itself has equanimity.
그래서 미망우지 알아 마인드 peaceful mind 매팅이요. 삼나 여보다는 쉬어져요. 망고 쉬어져요. 그래서
Yeah, we're talking about, everyone talks about having peace of mind, how important that is. This is in that context. It is a good mind.
제가 미 stranger 직삼는 당연히 peaceful mind이요래. 직 가나가야요 말에 돈나 두야요 말에. 그러 야직단다 대 상당히 배낭하라서 디나라 저런서 미 당보통이 나 당보통이 미드 셈나라 직게요 말에 그래서 저와 가야던 두야게요 말에 다 대제 대화로까지 다 니고 찬이들라 가시엘라 가야로 가시엘라 두야로 저와디 리야기 냥가요다 이때 다 니고 차디는 저와디 당용도 알아 이거 미란시로와 세상도 상당히 당보통이 미드서 그래서 내 저런서 통지 셈나라 디요 말에 그래서 알아야 징에니리스 가야당아 마가오세 삼노에 말했어 셈디베 초당용라고 여러분 다디 미둔데 통연데 초당용데 데셈 시바딩 알아도 셈 시바데 쉬우지 여러분 망보 쉬우지 여러분 다디 먼저 무엇인가요 말이야 먼저 셈데 다만달라 죽 이모션 질 죽친제로 수수 셈 시와 여와데라 무엇인 다고자도고요 말다 다 드리네 다고자고 그러면서 다고자고 그래.
So then those strangers that you meet, that you happen to see, they want peace as well. They have that right to have that peace. They don't want to suffer. They want to be happy just like you. So neutral in that regard as well. And for example, when I meet you for the first time, I would not feel particularly up or down with regards to my feelings to you. Not, that's because I don't know you initially. But of course, humans, when you get closer to them, there's a danger that you start to go between these extremes of like or not. So in that context, we have to recognize within that mind of equanimity and neutrality is the mind's peace. Recognizing that is very important, because if you just follow your whims of emotion, if you just follow them, then you're not owning your mind. Now our responsibility is to start to own our mind's peace.
다 언제 곰자. 다 들라 곰잡는 것이 탑시신다 요말에.
And now we have to sit together, because except for meditation, there's no method to actualize that.
다 곰자. 다 당봉원도 굴론 곰지해자라.
Yes. So first we should motivate.
다 드리네 제제네. lunga chawa khan chewa de rosimji shin pemba bashik chido waji chigi samje odus kom japsro.
So, motivating that from today, the actions of my body and speech will solely benefit other living beings. Just that.
Oya, 다 정말로게 이마 드리네 시쟁에 삼바상보지 미신라 편도치니 삼바상보 지체도 치기 삼제 지난주 챌린지 좋았어.
Now one needs to make the resolve that from today, one will just have a kind-hearted attitude to other, that of just benefiting them. One has to resolve it.
근데게 셈상보디 상상의 수준이 닝기지데 네 외가워 지여데 디셈버 상보디 어디인 제나 상상의 상무단의 편도여.
Sometimes it helps to imagine that kindness at the level of your heart in the nature of white light. Just hold that.
다 된대게 셈디 아니 지다 마음발라 내주 상의 양의 동의 가래 체베이네 된대게 셈 외가버란 신기 셈디 가디에 있는 르 당금에 선야 탐자치 줬어.
So now think that mind, that kind heart, whatever conditions you meet, good or bad, suffering, whatever, you never give up that kind-heartedness.
아야 다 지난주 가와곰 하나 그 수분잉 버들라 되네. 셈바사와 나 셈사와레레 셈바사와 누바침보 닌데지 셴뱅게 셈바 누바침보지 요 ten 요와디 요와 심바제는 가오공고라스.
Now we should rejoice in this old body. We have generated a new mind, a potent mind, a mind that benefits others. Recognize it and rejoice in it.
와야 당저 롱종인데 롱종디 니 우종 니 나우니네 우슈제 우릉지 추 당파 당셰바 제시디 스테이셔스.
Now we will do breathing exercise. So inhalation and exhalation through the nostrils, long breaths, and just recognizing that. Be aware of that.
다 나우니네 우추 텐드 장가라. 그런저 친랍랍네 디그레 뉴발랍네 디그레 된 당조델 구송투데 망고도와 디나나 당저 티징 망고데 다게 웰럽 시나리 오퍼레이션 시나리 디 랍균디 데데여로 랍균디 디 아니 나고나를 줄레디데 다 유엔데 야게 쇼잔잔 임바레 용안저 디 나게 친랍랍도 어디레 그 다디게 랍디게 수군한게 아니 제두자도 봐 당시하고 여러고 아니 근데 수군한라 더 코디베션은 저는 이뮤 시스템이 야게도야 연구요 어딘데게 친랍세야디 어딘데지 용구요와 디수 상다 아니 우파단데 아니 진남도다 마지바다 남다다 미세다 셈단도예외게 지 가리나 상마 내주 두즈 상마 바 tenso tenro uksu tendu dinde chinlabam niwasa baji leso ten upa dande ne duzu jiksim gingamda dan tokwa dan namda dan duzu changma pa tenso ten ande de dang kanzam jijila ne be su sem de be changma changya chaso ten odo si komdes japshas.
When one is able to recognize, just simply recognize breath, inhalation, exhalation, you can imagine a blessing, or we would say a potency or power, because in the building there are representations of enlightened body, speech, and mind on one level. So when you breathe in through the nostrils, the qualities of that enlightened energy is coming into one's body. Moreover, the fact that a lot of teachings have taken place in this room, and those teachings have a sound, the sound of which has a vibration, similar to the fact that when you say mantras, the waves of sound from the mantra in form has an effect on the body's potency, on the body's immune system. So when you're breathing in, all of that potency comes into the body, and when you breathe out, any type of worry, mental construct, mental ill at ease is dispelled. So there's a fresh potency on the in-breath, and on the exhalation, the thoughts are diminished. Thirdly, you imagine that the mind and body are clean, clear, and just observe that.
That's
And the body's well-being, the mental clarity, have conviction in that.
당zo 우중 공작인다. 다들 미야 당고레스. 미야 당 민나질 마람 바우스샤. 개와데 주동고데. 니 우통하지 주당 파당 셰바체. 니 옥셰스나나 다 주당게요와데 파당게요와데 셰스나나. 아니 장가점네 장가. 장가 당보디 개와데 구구구구체마 되시. 개와츠 동보데.
Yeah.
그거는 아니 요구레서 봐. 개바츠 정보데 뿡보파 비자자. 당보 가서 수보데 내려야고 되긴다.
Yep. So now we're going to begin breathing meditation. For this, the eyes should be slightly open at the level placed on the bridge of the nose, checking one's posture that is straight and relaxed. And the first thing is to just be aware once more of breathing, this time shallower breaths, quicker ones. And after you have introduced that breath awareness, we are going to begin to count the cycles of breath. But remember, just before that, just checking the bodily posture. If the body is crooked or bent over, it's not conducive to long meditation. You'll get kind of like that.
Shoulder pushing back a little bit. Shoulder.
Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, if the shoulders are kind of balanced yet, how do you say, a bit back, then naturally the spine aligns.
Yeah.
Those of you who meditate for long periods will know that if you're crooked over, you'll get kind of dull and start nodding. When the posture is upright, when the spine is straight, however long you sit, it's effortless.
다 당보도 데스칼레요. 당보도 칼레 컴스나나 아니 대선나 수고데 개버don도 자don도요. 자don도 롱동고요. 롱동나 아니 셈동고요. 셈동도 아니 concentration 야고 용고요. 어디다.
It's a little bit difficult at the beginning, you have to put effort. But if the nerves are straight, the wind can flow in the nerves. If the wind flows in the nerves, the mind can be concentrated.
다디네 당기네 대오만 베데스 벽스 단지 주당 파당 셰버시아스.
So once more, bringing the awareness to the shallower breaths, breathing in, breathing out, just aware of that.
다 장가죠. 장가 주사고죠. 줄레스는 야 주님마 잡라 찍사고죠. 안데네 삼샤는 야 셈다다와 되가나 샤지 this.
Now begin to count the cycles. Breathing in, breathing out, that's one cycle. We'll do 10 of those cycles. Once we reach 10, we'll count back down to 1, and then we'll just rest the mind in the present moment.
한서 가시 사바도와 사바도 저 장가 숨제네 잉스나나 내야 고네야 마무티는 마셔지 야 고네 잡는 디스.
If you're new to counting the cycles, just try and count to 3 rounds, 3 inhalations and exhalations, and then again go back to 1.
신다 뒤에 금주는 뭐 잡는데 주 잡는 디그.
Yeah, those who are those with familiarity can go up to 10, no problem.
아야 다 드림이 세 직작인데 곰직 다 우야 두세 단기 장가 접대 다스진 스스심디 수군나라 쇼버다시도와 아니 우스 태연디 아니 우디 수구 탐제를 쪽도고도 수국이 차체가라로 쪽도고도 어디 하고시 하고는디고 우스 당으로와 우스 당 우파 단되는 우디 수구차 탐제나는 쪽니 파 단계도 그냥 수구 체가라고 질러 주네 단계도 어디 쉐버시는 디고 하고버시는 디고 될 배전케 지금 말어 너무 우지 당고라 우디 당님도 내 우디 수구 탐제나는 쪽도 수구차 숨절을 두고도 수비 책을 두고도 나 권한을 지고 두고도 가 두고도 다그랑 되고 있다.
So today, recognizing inhalation and on that in-breath, as you breathe out, recognize whether the breath has pervaded the entire body or not, or just half of it. One doesn't have to put effort into it, just let it happen naturally. Is the breath pervaded just a third of the body, half of the body, or even just the region of the head? Can you be aware of it?
다 류기 차담제라 우디 미든 딜이야. 남도 가두 심나를 담만도 샤연디 딜만 주고 체제. 아니 남도게 제일 먼저 마시지. 욱중우게 제일 심탕와디. 도그레스.
So recognizing the energy or the air pervading the whole body, and not following the conceptual thoughts around that, beginning to count again to remove those thoughts.
허야. 다 달려돼. 다 고미하고 제거도 지나서. 고미하고 제거도 스타 제수랑 예스.
Now kind of kick back and relax. The meditation has gone well. Let's rejoice in that.
다 됐을래. 아, 이게 되셔야 잡디. 단데 암조니야디 개정벌다. 심디 암조니야가 라샤고 그랬다.
Yeah, I'd like to say a few things. So put your ears here. Listening is good.
다 드린데 근데 같이 사고 같이 또 아니. 지난주 쇼베 니 굴롱 검자다 비디 exercise 당 비디 meditation 되게디 니 잡 데제라 검데 잡디 나게 우중 장가자 직체 아니 우게 제스도 줘야다 우 가와도도 쓰고 차단을 도도 제가도 따야지도 티체 안데 제스니 남도 제스 마주고 시제야 셈디 남도 제스 주로다 티 마주고 시제 우 코란가라 셈네도나 남도 가도
Okay.
어디 디 곰디다 뮤티지 잡투나 아니 야고요 레스로.
For those that are new here today, then it is good in the morning if you begin your meditation with a motivation, then you do some breathing exercise, breath recognition, and then breath meditation. As we did, we counted the cycles of breath so that we could just make sure the mind was riding on the breath. And then we observed where the breath was in the constraints of the body. Did it pervade the whole body or not? And then the exercise was to suspend conceptual thought, just leave thought. And if you can place your mind on the breath, what you come to see is that those thoughts abate naturally.
근데다 디 발음도 야고 하고 오면은 먼저 디 유튜브 나는 샤샤에 레스로.
Yeah.
아니 양자 니나야 그래서.
Yeah. So those steps, if they're not clear, this is on YouTube. You can look at it again.
디제 다드네 저 닝지 당기셰고 나신 될라다 단대 곰도서 시름기 곰듯이 아니 믹세다 저 닝지다 가도이네 닝지 단 닝지 여제다 그 탑람라야 당고 당용 공부를 했어 당고 당용 공부를 했어 당용 공 안데네 아니 심진 수수 타고를 유니 디에디 수수를 거린 첨부인 바디 하고
Yep.
제 니와 아니 거린 첨부이나 수수를 주편도니를 봐 편토로 와디 디 아니 틴 다 거린디라 거린 소 어디 연구요
Repay.
어디
Yeah. Now, yeah, that's methods of meditation and also in terms of the great compassion. We want to generate such a great compassion. The method is once more first to have a mind of equanimity to all beings. Secondly, to those who are in your immediate vicinity, remember how they are kind to you, how they've helped you. Now, how about helping them back? This is like repaying that kindness.
다 당부 당용 구매야디 심지 탐제 사야디다 남산리그 말에 당보들라 알아서 줄라 당용기 셈디 요레스 제가 당기 띵에 가셔리스 가셔레 가 다메 락도
Yeah.
가셔레는 가 다유 락도 다메나 가셔 미 가셔 지 미토인디 토니 마트 계시니 마트 진짜 용구도
Yeah.
근데 어디 리그도 좀 심나라 마가로 지 차사로 근데 가서로 직체 근데 나라 디 가마인이 직 숨직도 다디 가마인이 디 삼당고 스트레인저 디 삼당지 디네가라 수수심도 간데 따다 당보디 수술라 생기 당념데 여와디 시고로 와 당고 어디 또 곰디 야고랬다
That mind of equanimity at the outset towards all living beings is not easy. It won't immediately be produced. That mind of neutrality. We have some beings we feel close to, yet others. Well, some people say they have no enemy. Some people say they do. But anyway, there might be those beings that you do not want to see, you do not want to talk to. So straight away there's some aversion around it. And yet there are others you are affectionate towards. But this third group of strangers, one's mental attitude to them, that mind of neutrality, observe that.
Some people say, I don't have enemy. Then you are lucky, you know. If you don't have enemy, you are lucky, isn't it? Sometimes you met some people first time in this life. And sometimes, I don't want to see something Monday, something coming, you know. Where's come from this question, you know. And sometimes you see people, I met these people a long time ago, you know. Sometimes this feeling, we all have this experience. I all the time looking this reason. This makes me strong belief in karma or in past life. Because when I was young, I had often this question, you know, and sometimes, you know, I have one school teacher, and one school teacher, very hard to relationship. And then I'm learning very, very hard, you know, and then I don't want to go to school. Most students go to school, I go opposite. I have some friends, I was calling, coming back 3, 4. Maybe we play, and we have a big dam, and some other time we swimming. And one time met teacher coming, and school teacher coming. We have maybe 10 students, and we go to swimming on the water. and he took all clothes, and we stuck in the water. We stuck there, and and someone come in, please bring some clothes, and they give some extras. We were very shy. We don't go to ourselves like that. And then we finally someone coming there give clothes. Anyway, one friend he went home, not really far. Our homes maybe 10-minute walk, and he bring some extra clothes. And then we go back home, and the security jar our clothes give our parents' hand, And then my father present for me. Yeah. And then all the time sharing this story. This is I think is my experience, And my exam is fail all the time fail. I'm last one. Because I never learn. I not go to school. Exam fail. And then my father has some punish me, and my brother have punished me, and I lost struggling when I was young. And same maybe 13 years old. The school teacher changing. Another school teacher coming, and immediately we become friends. And he is very gentle, very calm, and his education looks he just transforming my mind. And suddenly we are very good close. Then then I love school, and then this year exam is I'm top in the class. And my mother don't believe. Oh, your teacher good relationship. They give you excuse. And then my mother told, oh, my big brother, check his exams this top. I don't believe mother told. And my big brother again test me. Oh, yeah, he know everything. Yeah, that's good. And then I love Seoul. Then sometimes I sleep in Seoul. There in China lots of national yedar or flags.
National flags.
And we sleeping between flag. We are 10 students sleeping, and we are hungry. And we go to the garden, and then we take on a potato and cooking in the pot. Potato cooking. We play all night. Play. Show.
Yeah, we play like dice,
Together.
cards.
We play, and sometimes reading. I like reading book. They're long story. The three story, and very nice story. One is from China's story. This Chungodamji Sajara, 800 heroes story. This sometimes movie here. This is very nice. They've lost good message. I like reading this book and never stop reading. And then my mother said, "Oh, Sigu is not your home. Book doesn't give you food." The mother opposite message. And I thought, where's come from this? One teacher have very good clothes, one teacher very, I think I have cautioned this. Where's come from this two different relationship? And this is, I think, past life we have some different connection. Past, I believe that. Exactly same. Some people immediately see, I don't know want to see, I don't know what to talk. Some feeling coming. And I put the effort. Oh, this is being my mother past life, and I try to, you know. Tanda di equanimity ko mya jorwa. Di kan la ya. Ani simje nge samu de dang yesro. Simje thamje mala pendo cheba de jigba yin ba. Pento be chene jigba yin ba. Rwa nga thiring pento ba da longama pento ba jigba ba ko. Rwa longama chunju kan la pento ba da thiring pento ba ni jigba ba ko. Di na jawa nga ma pento ba da sedele pento ba jigba ro. Di indu simje thamje ma pento ba yin ba jigba. 다 너버 제바이나 너버 제바 찍바 아니 다이나 이냠레 녜나 이냠레 삼다잖아 아니 정말로 셈데 다 정말 아주 정말 대화시다 요래 삼네 셈나래 지카서래 수수 셈 딩네 지 배직 내용보다 배 지카서래 셈다니 오라오시다 아니 계저시에다 주절라 수수지 능미다오질 시기에 서로 lewe je nga ge shel kang chin yo mar ting sa mi su to na ge she ya re mi phejo khar sing ge na nga ge shel simulation men do de pejin de chung is re de ro
That mind of equanimity, then I would reflect on it in terms of how initially, others had benefited me, if it had been, whether it had been now or the past years, or now, seeing that benefit as the same, whether it's today or the past. So, the way that someone helped me in the past and the way that they helped me now, I would see it as exactly the same. And I would take that reasoning further. Those beings that helped me in this lifetime, their kindness to me, the way they benefited me, exactly the same in past lives. So also, there could be the case that they harmed me in this life and harmed me in the past lives as well. Or we've been strangers in this life and strangers in the past lives. But with the context of all of that, there is this connection, this interconnectedness. And when I start to look at that interconnectedness, I start to feel a closeness. I started to experience there was a closeness to all beings. Now, when I started to reflect on that, now I can talk to anyone. I have no problem talking. I can talk to anyone like their family. There's no worry to talk.
sometimes I jump at talking a little bit of worry and some people the mind has some strong connection and some people recognize it, some people, and a little bit careful about it, sometimes not thinking without thinking, talking, blah, blah, talking like that. I don't hesitate. When I was young, I'm very quiet, I'm very shy person. Shy. My father say, "Hey, coming, talk." I very quiet. Oh no, first I was young, I was talking, blah blah blah, and some my parents talking, and I say, "Oh, blah, blah." But the father say, keep quiet." And then after I went to the school, and I like reading this long story, and my mind got in the book. I'm not, and then I know this is just blah blah, not much point. I really interesting this book. My mind go to the book. I'm not talking. The parent talking all the time and the same. I'm not really interesting. And they're talking, and my mind they go. Sometimes I reading book in the. We all dinner together, maybe 2-3 hours. All family live together and they're talking, mother, father give advice, don't do that, blah, 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 all the time, same. And then I holding my book, and they were talking, and father said, hey, keep quiet, talk, don't be quiet, talk, and they were talking, and then very quiet, and then my father said, oh, this is very young. You are very young. You are lost talking. Now you're not talking. Become very quiet. And then I become in monk when I was 21 years old in monastery. Exactly the same beginning, very hard to talk. And then we had lots of debate. And thousand monk, and some we examined in the debate. And the first year, I couldn't believe. I'm looks. I can't. I don't see where's the my feet put. I looks flying. Everyone looks me. Everyone looking me. All are looking. Everyone looks me. And then I don't remember what I'm talking. Just and then slowly, and I have developed my mind. Maybe 3 years, since after 3 years, and my mind go to this philosophy, devoted this subject. And then I'm not shy. Then 5,000 monk I've developed just 2% composition. 5,000 monk we do develop. We have 2 times a month and group debate. Sometimes class competition. And we have 75 our class 75 monk, and they need some responsibility topic similar guarding. And I'm more go to the front, I'm more front go, more responsibility. And then sometimes you can answer and people, your answer is very tough, and everyone senior monkey, you beat your loss, like that. And sometimes we have 400 and 300 watching do debate like that. I'm not shy, and shy is gone. uh, and then in monastery like that. And I think one thing is India, and I go to Indian village, and Indian people is very friendly. They like talking. They like talking. They like chatting. Sometimes we have this um, go to by bus, and we stop there. Sometimes bus something wrong, and then the road said, tea making Indian. Have you been in India? They're making tea. I like this tea. And then I go to find some corner tea. I not go to Papa restaurant. I go to on the roadside there, some old man making tea. I like talking him. And then I ask this person how to make the tea. Those people teaching, how to making tea, how to live with I I no idea. I grew up in Tibet. Tibet is a very cold place, and India is super hot. And we hot, we do shower, we hot, we drinking cold water. And I drinking cold water, and he said, no, 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 you're not drinking cold water. If you're hot, you need to drink hot water. People have experience. And then he said, oh, you don't do shower daytime, do some morning early, shower. If you very hot weather, don't do shower daytime, do morning early. And then he said, wearing wet clothes. I can't wear clothes. This is red. Oh, he said, this is bring heat. This is very. They lost the knowledge. Knowledge. These people teaching lost knowledge. This is the reason I like competition. Those things. Therefore, I know local, which is local food special. Because they know local food. And I ask them, which restaurant is best food, and say, oh, go to the corner. Very corner and very cheap, very delicious. 그래서 밀러 깨지시나 편도 전부 다.
There are benefits to being able to talk to others.
And need listening news. You're listening people what they're talking and benefit them, and you got lots of news. Funny one time we went to South Island trip, and we stay on the grandma. We have B&B.
Airbnb, is it?
Airbnb. And one man he said he's like talking. Other people already gone, and I'm listening, patient for him. But one reason I do some company for him, and he talking, 2 hours, and I'm listening, and he give grandma the news, local news. I got local news, which restaurant's bad, which is groceries bad, and what is bad, what is the weather, and what is season, how many people come, how many people go, business go up, business go down. He 2 hours he give everything's message. I no need to pay money, Don't need to watch TV, TV don't have truth of the story, TV never say this is best restaurant you go, never say, they're talking lots politics, blah 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 blah, and vaccine, blah blah blah. Don't watch it, TV, listening local people, you're talking never, especially in nursing we have lots of retired people, good opportunity listening. They have lots of education, they have lots of life experience. This reason we in Tibetan culture lots children spend with the grandma because they're teaching their knowledge. I learned laws my grandma because we think is grandmas very respect because they're well knowing, experience. Experience. They have laws experience, better than book. They're teaching laws things, And this we lucky we have lots here, and talking. I like talking and listening. I like people. Some people like cats. Some people like dog. Some people like birds. I like people. Some people like car, some people like house. Some people like water, you know. Yeah. This week your homework is that homework home relaxation. This week your home relaxation. Motivation, meditation, breathing exercise, breathing meditation. This is the general food. Okay, breakfast. Your breakfast. This is your breakfast. And a special food is developing your compassion. Equanimity practice. Equanimity practice. 당용 공략. 당용 검사질라니. 수지에 미드 수술라 펜도치고 가야 돼. 다들 수수 냠용 삼당 그래. 마에 수수 냠용 삼당 그러네. 심나라 지대 초로 얘기도. 디 탭나 디 상상의 탭디 초대도 상상 대문도.
Yeah.
수수 심기 익스페리언스나 디 초대도 배나 나게 아메가를 저 그렇게 버도 세우 쉽지 심나 샤용도로. 어딘데 삼당제. 다디 셔럽세고래 셔럽기 닝지 다 동해다 신 동해다 태왕 예치긴 있어야 닝지디 깨라 셔럽면은 요아요 말이야 셔럽이 토나지 닝지에서 그랬다 어디다.
So then in terms of cultivating greater compassion, we have to start with equanimity, start with those directly close to you, to your left and right, recalling how they've benefited you. And this is something that has to come through your own experience, because if it comes through your own personal experience, it will move you. You'll get, from a feeling point of view. Sometimes you can get experience from books, from reading books, sometimes not. From my own experience, I got it through, my connection with my mother and having that close, heartfelt connection with her. So then the type of compassion we're trying to cultivate must have wisdom as its support. Without wisdom supporting compassion, difficult.
다 닝지원에 닝지 깨어서디 수수 마가서다 수수 콘돌라니다 두졸라 닝지 깨도나 아니 쩨마 많이 배 닝지 사지.
Right. Now in reality, if you can have an attitude of compassion to those that make you angry, to those you have animosity towards, then that's a sign that you have uncontrived compassion. It is spontaneous for you.
Some people, I'm not sure. Some people have very hard relationship, and there's some people thinking, I want to give up. Don't think this. This is your good opportunity, your practice compassion, and this is person teach you passion. This person is your compassion object. If you lost this, you've lost big loss, don't thinking, I want to change. Try, passion.
Yeah, you need to cultivate forbearance there.
강에 태워들라 동네 잡나 아니 드네 아직 타나 타도 그러다 건다로.
Yeah, the point is when difficulties come, sufferings come, if you can bear them, they are liberated.
먼저 그래서나 강의직 태우다가 딜러요 아니 간산질라 도서 맨절라도.
What tends to happen to us is suffering there, problem there, then there's nowhere to go anymore. We have no refuge.
Yeah. Some people thinking a little bit of alarm, escape, a little bit of job alarm, leave job, and don't thinking, just be patient, be tolerant, and work with heart, and to practice your compassion. This is a very good opportunity, 지산디 심기 정다 로종 정다 신이디 요나 다 간대 야고도 와.
Yeah.
요르다 근데.
The systems to train the mind are excellent. How wonderful.
I saw last night one document in Tibet. One man, he has only one leg, some accident leg on, and he all parent gone, and he do just prostration, one leg prostration, and then the interview someone asked him, what is your wish? He said, I want to wish for the all world be sentient being is be happy. And he had only one clothes, winter, summer, everything's one clothes. And he said, and some people was begging special longu로 그 special longu면도 그런 차체 는 미드도 배셔대. 드링 컬러도 드는 디버레. 삼바베 끼고 게모 동라 게모 쉽게 해도 가르고 깨져 가르치고서나 심진 점블링 심진 신라 디기 기부요나 아니 당아 다게 릭선스다. 다 다가라니 있으게 데 차체 남면남게 다가라니 있으라고도 딜랍디 그런 셈나라 지 dedoa karo dewa digiro ji donla gemke do aro tulo chigle yo mar begaro reta kala khangbamin do kono mijige inde rickshaw ro tuk tuk chunju dinana nyedegdo nyeso dagarare ndare 제가 dindejido pela kesan tayemange dedil hase yen saganda do tingdanga 아니 test tagi wal hase do
Yeah.
kesan document de yagodinde tungudo aro
Yeah, I watched this documentary from Lhasa showing, where the restaurants are, because I was remembering Lhasa in Tibet. Anyway, this person who prostrates, he never begs for money, not like that. People just offer him money, and his attitude is, if I have enough to eat for today, I'm happy. And he's asked what makes him happy. He says, I'm just so happy. If the beings in the world are happy, I'll be happy. So his practice is just to prostrate with one set of clothes. He don't have many things. He just sleeps simply in a rickshaw, and that's his lot.
제가 대화세디 치기 강받지 보여와나 튕긴지 보여네 영화 레메도다.
Yeah,
삼로단단지 연구도.
we're saying here that mental well-being and bliss is not dependent on a nice house and conditions. It is a mental attitude.
미가시 강받지고 난데는 삼번만 유시 되러.
There are those with a wonderful house, but mind not so happy they're in that house.
미가시 강보 거나 여면은 쌤데 기타지 돼.
And there are those without a house, so happy, so relaxed.
제가 다 가르쳐서라. 어디래다. 삼로 당시에나 기부여 가사지 가오르나.
Yeah, so where do you go with that? Well, it seems to be with mental attitude. If you have it correct, you can go anywhere.
어야 다 먼저 드링데 샤르와 나 동원 건다 저런서 많이 해고나야 드링지 내가 논리도와 계제시다 놓아다다 가래가래 만들고 이제 디딩마선 최샤체 산이 양자 지금에서 양선양 삼당 그래 계속 쇼래 안데네 수수래가 야가로도 곰자래 밀레 편도 쳐야는데 저는 디디 야고 쳐도 산이에 딜레망 곰 야오다 곰자 하버드다 계제시데 닝지 당 전죽샘 신변기 샘 당한도 상관 등기 신변기 샘 게임바 안데 다디 당보샘네 내 미신의 편도 지긴 상로도 땅땅땅인데 당아 삼로 땅와 지거르면도 당에 라렌데 스타르도 사딜레용 칼레라로
Let take on. So then, before we sleep this evening, we should check our minds and check the day. If there have been mistakes made, 1, 2, 3, to just recognize that, kind of regret them. And it's important to do that on a continual basis, and then make the commitment not to recommit those mistakes the next day. Conversely, if the day's gone well, if you've helped others, if the meditation has gone well, resolve to meditate a bit more the next day. And meditation is very important. We need to sit. In that context, we need to meditate on great compassion, the bodhicitta. We talked about having this mind that looks out for others' welfare. Once that strengthens, then you get to the stage where you can actually handle what comes up. You can take it on, the problems.
다들 곰 잡사네 튠 샤갈라와들라네 다들이 양양에 미신을 편도여 가지 삼바상부 지도인 스제제 튠델라 투스제제 신변기 심시제제 샤고레스.
All right. When you finish meditation session proper, you dedicate that again may I be able to benefit others, in the next session or in between sessions.
어야다 안주디 겨워쳐디 양오면람 지시로
We have created virtues together, now we dedicate them.
다 겨워사와디 제디 다 계지시 잠불림 시디 도야당 시디모야당 아니 지다 중외느지 안단데기 내림다마도 도용고도 내림도서 참아봐 시야 다 잠불림 징욕도 용으로 도야 하과도 지 미망보질라 면주 권연라 면주 말아봐 등에 요래 칼라 말하니 동에 둘로 말아봐 동에 계지시와 두족이 강에 세도지 아니 미창모도 물론 미창모도 지 찬주그 셈 신비 닝지 니와디 장마지 게토바지 여러 채나선 면람들 시켜셔야 되는 마치까지 된 것으로
We will dedicate these virtues we've accrued together to world peace, to that end, that there is no imbalance of the elements, particularly this COVID thing. May that be pacified, and may there be less trouble in the minds of beings. The beings without medicine, may they find it. Those without food, eat. Those without clothing, find clothes. But in short, may their mental sufferings be removed. Also very important, the beings develop the kind-hearted, altruistic attitude of bodhicitta. Here, we're talking about that second type of compassion we talked about today, to bring it about. I will say some verses, please dedicate likewise.
사람들이 단제세 바이 고만들이 윤유다네 가다나다 치베라로 시베설레로 쇼 개와디 윤유다 라마산제 투지지 도와 치자마 예설로고 쇼 천주 순절은 뭐지 마제바나 예유지 여와냐바 메와야 권해권해 찬제와단 지지셔와나 지지런 것이서 이 여와주세다 이제 단제서 배전주 전부 아야 다 드링 내체 네 셈바상고체 밀라 펜더 가서 지도 지기 상상당 어제 샤고스
From today, do one's best to have a kind-hearted approach to others.